So we shall start with GCPs, ground control points. Now, whenever I used to write blog posts, I always used to get it wrong and write GPCs. And I know you had to correct me a couple of times. So, well, GPC, it's a GCP.
Yeah,
So,
I think the problem is it's GCP, but it's GPS. And
that's
so,
probably where I was getting it wrong.
mm,
You see,
yeah,
so used to GPS,
yeah,
wasn't used to GCPs. So GCPs, waffle. GCPs are markers that are placed on the ground.
yeah.
They're usually like it's a square with sort of black and white markers on it.
Yeah.
As we've said before, usually we might be able to put one of these up here on the screen, but we actually haven't gone around and done that yet. So maybe we'll do that this time, depending on our time constraints. So the drone positions itself using a base station and, well, actually, it measures the position of the survey of the ground equipment, so base station, etc. Don't know if you want to emphasize on that at all.
Yeah, so just to unwrap that, as you mentioned, it's a marker on the ground.
Yep.
And it's a marker with a very distinct set of colors, black and like high contrast colors, black and white, or I've seen like spiral ones, or
they vary, don't they? You can get different markers, but a lot of the most common ones are the black and white tiled squares.
Yeah. And the reason for those markers being so high contrast is because you want your drone's image to be able to easily identify those markers, because as we know, they're markers. And what you want to do is you want to know the position of that marker using a third-party method. So either you already know the position of that marker because someone has surveyed that before, or you have, for example, a base station or some form of a method through which you can understand the true location of that marker in 2D space. So basically, like every marker has you put one of the base stations at the center of these markers.
Yep.
And then you measure where is this in 2D space or on a map using a base station or similar. So you use survey grade equipment to figure out the real actual points where these markers are located on the surface of the Earth.
And once those points have been taken, you upload that data alongside your images to the processing software.
That's it.
And I mean, I have been on sites before where they have had GCPs, and I know you kind of sporadically put them around the site. You can put them at different heights. They can't be too close together, but as long as they are across the entire site in a varied amount, you will get your definition of where they are when it comes to uploading that data to your processing software.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the interesting analogy that I like to take is like, if you imagine you had like a billboard and you wanted to place and there was a map on that billboard, and now you had a better map of a small area and you wanted to place it, but you were given like markers on where different points need to align. You would kind of try and stretch the map one way or squash it the other way to kind of make it fit on this billboard, sort of peg it in places. So these markers, GCPs, are essentially sort of the ground truth for where those points are in 2D space. So those pegs on those billboard, and you're trying to kind of like match the map to the reality, and that's what improves accuracy.
Yeah, exactly. We see. Cut a long story short, that is exactly how you'd improve the accuracy of your final result, whether that be a 3D map or a 2D map.
Yeah,
it gives you a better definition of what is on the ground and where it is in 3D or 2D space.
Yeah. But GCPs have been, I think that was probably like the first method that was used to improve the accuracy. I don't know if it was really the first, but we know commercially it was used a lot. Like 5-7 years ago is kind of the dominant method of doing things. But then since then, other methods have come to the market. What are those other methods?
Hence the reason we're here talking about it today.